Hello everyone, welcome back to Core Data. In this Blender tutorial, I'm going to show you how to create Netflix logo animation. So let's go and take a look at the output first. So this is what we will be having by the end of this tutorial. So let's go and take a look at the original animation, logo animation. So we can see that how it is looking here, and here's the comparison. Okay, so this is what we are going to create. Okay, so I have already captured few screenshots of the original animation, so I can dissect the image and explain how we are going to approach this. So you can notice that here at the center we are having this Netflix logo, and it is of different font. It is not using the default font, so we need to get that. And also there's a long shadow here, so there should be a directional light that is throwing light in this direction. And also you can notice that there is a horizon over here, so that is throwing the main light. And we can even add some lights over here to show the horizon difference. And you can notice that we are having this vignette, so we also need to do some post-processing. Next, what are the parameters that we are going to animate? What are the objects that we are going to animate? So let's go and take a look at the another screenshot. So here you can notice that the scale is different, so we need to animate the scale of this logo, and also the scale along z-axis. Okay, and then you can notice that there's a slight change in the vignette. You can also animate that, and you can notice the very important thing here, there is no shadows here. Okay, so we need to animate all the lights that we have here, so we need to disable the shadow at a particular time instance. So these are all the things that we need to keep in mind. Okay, so I'll create a new project here. Okay, fine. So I'm using Blender 2.83, so you can use any version that you want, because the things that I'm going to use here are more or less same in all the versions. So make sure you are between 2.79 and any latest release. Okay, I'm going to delete everything, and I'm going to place plain here. Okay, so I'm going to add a text here. Okay, let's go into edit mode and change it to Netflix. It should be in uppercase. Okay, perfect. So now we need to import the font that I have here. Okay, so it's called Viva's New, and you can just download it from Google. I'll share you the link in description, so you can download it from there. Okay, so let's go here and go to font section, and here just click on this and just copy this link and paste here. Okay, so now we have this font here, so I'm going to reposition this. Okay, this is perfect. So great. So now we need to add depth to this. We need to create the extrusion. So I'm just moving this a little bit upward. Okay, and I'm going to slightly increase the extrusion. Okay, so this will do. Later we can, I can make it as 0.2, so we can have it something like this. Okay, let's bury this. So let's again move it here. Okay, so you can notice that the faces are not good. Okay, so for that, first we need to convert this into mesh. Press W key and go to convert to mesh. Okay, so now this is a mesh. Okay, you can see here. So let me go and fix the face here. Okay, you can just enable the auto smooth. Okay, fine. So I can okay, now I'm going to recalculate the rotation scale. Okay, this is perfect. So now we have somewhat kind of starting point. Okay, so we need to change the origin of this thing, because if you're going to animate this, each and every letters are going to jump and reach back to the same position. So it is better to have the origin at the center or at the base. Okay, so I think it is better to have the origin at the base. Now we need to press W and set origin to geometry. So now the origin is at the center of the mesh. I'm going to side view and select everything, and inside edit mode I am just moving the position. Okay, Now the origin is at the bottom. So if we are going to scale this, so we are going to scale this from the bottom. Okay, this will be really useful when we animate the logo. Great. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to apply material. Okay, so let's rename this. So Netflix matte. Okay, this is perfect. So make sure that we are inside cycles. So we are going to use cycles and not the AV engine. So I think it is disabled. So I think the GPU is disabled. So let me go to edit preferences and go to system and click on CUDA, and I'm going to enable both my GPU and CPU. Okay, this is perfect. So I'm having this. Okay, let me go to rendering mode. So right now we are having no lights here. Okay, let's go and set up the lights. So I'm going to add a sunlight first. So grab it. Okay, so I can just grab another window here and let me enable rendering mode here. Okay, this is perfect. So now I'm going to increase the brightness, the strength. Okay, and rotate it slightly. Okay, because we want the shadow in this direction. Okay, let's first roughly position this. Later we can adjust this. Okay, now we need to add a camera. This is the right time to add the camera. So you can see the camera is looking somewhere. Okay, so let's select this and press Alt plus R key. So it will remove all the rotations, and Alt plus G key. So if it is not at the center, so if it's somewhere here, you can press Alt plus G key. So take it to the center. Okay, so let me grab this. Okay. Perfect. So let me position. So I need to get the logo a little bit down. Let me scale down. Okay, just okay, this is perfect. So I can even change. Okay, this is perfect right now. Okay, so now we have a good starting point, and let's go and check. So you can see here the shadow is reaching almost this place. So that is when the scale is at the maximum, the sunlight is reaching really, the shadow is reaching this place. So we can do a slight rotation on this thing. Okay, I think this will do. Okay, this is perfect. So let me save this file. Let me save this. So now we need to boost the lightings. Okay, so for that first I'm going to add area light here. Just grab and place it here. Okay, so this is going to act as the central light that is going to give the focus. Okay, so now we need to tweak the parameters. So let's slowly boost the value here. Okay, so I'm just moving it a little bit high, and also it can be around 10 or something like that. Okay, now we need to just scale this down a little bit, and we can add 2 more lights here. Okay, I'm just going to rotate this inwards. Okay, because when we are going to look from this angle, I would like to have a horizontal difference here. So I'm just going to slightly change this color to somewhere here, and also the color of this light to somewhere blue-ish kind of thing. Okay, so we can slightly lower the value at around 80. Okay, so let's go and quickly give a render of this, and before that we can just tweak this thing. Okay, we can just move this a little bit high. So okay, so let's save this and let's give a quick render of this. So I'm just going to change the parameters before giving a render, so I can divide it by 4. Okay, so I can make it a 75 to get a quick result. Okay, so let's render this. Okay, this is good. So give a quick render and check. Okay. So this is great. Actually, we are having a pretty good output. So, but you can notice one thing here. So we are losing the detail here. Okay. So at this place and also in the left side, we are losing the information. We don't know where the n is ending or n is starting. So we need to create that separation. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to lower the sunlight value here. Okay, and bring it around 8, and also the value of this to be around 50. Okay, and make sure that we have material for this m_flat plane. Okay, so I'm just going to slightly change the roughness of this. Okay, slightly, very slightly. Okay, and also most importantly, I'm just going to move this light a little bit inwards. Okay, and also this light a little bit inward, and I'm going to reduce the value here again, so I can make it around 35, and this also to 35, and change the value to 40 or something like that. Okay. Okay, so let me just move this a little bit high. Okay, so we can slightly notice the difference here. But I also want the user to focus here, so I want to throw some lights. So I'm going to slightly move this until the difference is back. Okay, so I'm just moving this light a little bit towards the ground so that this light primarily affects this flat surface and creates a difference between these two stuffs. Okay, this is perfect, I think. Okay, this is the light setup that I'm going to use. Let me save this and let's give a render. And before that, let's go and change. So let's go and change the performance here to 256. Okay, so let's render this again. Okay, so the results are pretty good. So now what we can do is we can even increase the size of this Netflix logo. So let's go and slightly increase the Netflix logo size. Okay, all right. Now we need to bend the lower portion because in the logo it is not straight, it is actually bent. So we can do that by going into edit mode and add a simple cube here. We can also do this in post-processing by adding a lens distortion node. But okay, that's not the right way to do this. So instead what we can do is we can just select this, and I'm going to press / key, okay, to hide everything and keep only this on my screen. So I have a cube here. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just put it in the center. Okay, fine. Now I'm going to do a proportional editing. Just go and turn on this thing and make sure it is in smooth, or you can also use sphere. I'm just going to stay with smooth. Okay, so I'm just going to press G key and I will get this sphere of influence. So I can just scroll and change the area of influence along y-axis. Okay, slightly, not too much. Okay, so we also need to, so now I'm going to just delete this, and I need to fine tune this end. Okay, and also this one. So this will give a nice finish. Turn off the proportionality and grab it along y-axis. Okay. Okay, now we got this slightly bent portion at the bottom. Okay, let me save this thing. Okay, now we can press again the / key to get everything back. Okay, this is perfect, I think. So now we need to split each and every letter that we have here so that we can animate each and everything individually. So select everything and make sure you are in edit mode and press space key and merge vertex by distance. So why I'm doing this? Because whenever you're going to convert a font to mesh, each and every face is going to be a separate one. So we need to merge that before separating that. Okay, now everything is a single mesh. For you can check by just placing a mouse over any letter and press L key to select the linked portions. Okay, now I'm going to select everything and press P key and by loose part. So I'm separating by loose parts. Okay, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. So everything is perfect. So let me save this again. Now I'm going to rename this. So this is going to be letter X and this is going to be letter E. First, if you take a look at the logo, everything is actually below the plane. Okay, it's here, and then only it is quickly coming up and the animation is playing here. Okay, so first what I'm, instead of changing the place, I mean the global Z location of the mesh, we are going to animate the scale. Okay, that is perfect. So we are having the origin at the center. That is great. It's okay. So now I'm going to just scale this down. Okay, now it is below this plane. So okay, so before starting to animate this letter N, we can import the sound, the background music. I'll give you the link. I'll share the link in description from where you can download this thing. Okay, so let me play this. So this is the beat that we need to note, because in this place exactly at 20 we need to call this, we need to change the scale of this letter. Okay, so first I'm going to go to frame number 0 and just going to register the Z-axis scale value, because I'm going to just animate that particular property. So insert single keyframe, now go to 20 and again insert a single keyframe over here, so it is going to stay in the same place for 20 frames. So it is actually going to reach this place somewhere here, and it's going to stay for some time till all the other letters are going to reach the same height. So what I can do is I'm just going to make it as 1 and insert a single keyframe here. So it's going to stay here for some time, and so in this place I want this logo to get back to this place. Okay, this will do 0.1, and it should not be the older value because it's going to make it go below the plane. We are not interested in that. I'm just going to bring it as low as possible. So this is great. So I'm just going to right click and insert a single keyframe here. So let's play this again. Okay, right now it is actually working, but it is not up to the mark because we need to edit the curves that we have here. So let me zoom in a little bit and select everything, press B and click on this free. Okay, because this is going to allow us to edit each and every handles without affecting the other one. Okay, so what I need to achieve here is I want this N to reach its maximum value quickly. As the time goes, I want to reach the maximum value as soon as I can. Okay, so I'm just going to grab this and put it at 90 degree. I'm just going to slightly move it along y-axis. Okay, and here I can just grab it along x-axis. Okay, so you can see now it is quickly here. So what is happening here as the time goes, we are forcing the curve to change the scale of z-axis very quickly. So actually it need to reach the maximum value here, but we are forcing to reach quickly. Okay, now here on this side I need to just hold it for a while, and also it need to fall rapidly. Okay, okay, so I think this is too much actually, so I can just slightly, okay, let me go to wireframe mode and also select this one. I'm just going to select this one and this one. No axis. I think, yeah, this is better. Okay. Okay, actually one more thing here we can notice is we are not actually able to see the depth too much. Okay, later we can fix this. First let me copy the animation to each and everything. So let me select E, and before that we need to note the time. So here we are starting at 20 and the E should start at 21. Okay, let me go here and let me put a key over here, insert single keyframe, and also let me lock this place. Actually it is not necessary, but it is a good practice to do so. Okay, so 22. So 22, I'm just going to go here and select this particular thing and Control C or Command C if you are in Mac, right click here and paste it here. Okay, keyframes. Let's look at from top. Okay, this is better, and so let's go to the next one. So it should be in 22, and let me put a single keyframe here, and also a single keyframe here. Let me paste this here. Okay, let me play this again. Okay, so the next one should be on 23, I think. I forgot. Yes, 23. So insert a single keyframe here, and also here. It's actually not required, but I don't know why I'm doing that again. Okay, fine. Let me paste it here in 23. Okay. Okay, so next is 24. Next one, 26. Insert single keyframe. Okay, and paste it here. Okay, now let's play this. Actually, this is fine, but we actually need to do one more thing here. Let me select this, and okay, if you noticed, okay, there's something wrong here. I think I have moved this a little bit further away. Okay, so this will do. Okay, actually what is happening right now is it is actually rising one by one, falling down one by one after the other. But this should not happen, and also here I need to just move this. Okay, so this should not happen. What we need is we actually need to make everything to fall at the same place. Okay, so I'm just going to move towards the center, be this frame, just grab it, grab everything and put it there. Okay, now everything will fall at the same time. Okay, now let's go to the top view and check that. So you can see it is going. So I actually want to make everything fall at the same time. So now it's happening, but here you can see the curves are starting a bit earlier. So what I can do is I can just go and grab it along its axis and put it somewhere in the middle, in the next one, and put it somewhere in the middle. So in this one. Okay, now select this key, this curve, and put it somewhere here. And I don't want to see a much big difference when they are falling. Okay. Okay, this will do, I think. Okay, so let me save this. Okay, great. So now we have created this logo animation. Now we also need to animate the color of the logo. So let's go and do that quickly. Okay, so at which particular frame we are getting this? We are actually getting this. So it's going to be staying in the same white. So the letters are going to stay in the white color until they are going to reach this quick snap animation. So it's going to be 39 maybe. Okay, so since we, and also here you can see we are having the base color, we are going to animate this. So I'm just going to put a single keyframe here. Okay, so it's going to stay in the same color here, still this place, and in frame number 40 I'm just going to make it as dark red. Or if you really want to use the red color that they have used in the logo animation, you can just go and find that. Okay, I'm just going to go with this. Okay, and you can see here this particular thing is actually glowing because of the lights around this place. Okay, it is actually losing its true red color. Okay, so we need to adjust that, find a way to adjust that. So first let me lock this keyframe, and okay, it's coming and quickly changing the color. And also I can do one more thing here. Instead of putting it in this frame, I'm just going to select this and move to this frame. Okay, this is great. So it's going to stay in the same color for a long time. Okay, this is great. Now what we need to do, we need to adjust the saturation, right? So we can do that by changing the metallic softness value. So I'm just going to check that now. So I'm just going to put it somewhere around 0.7 or something like that, or I can keep it as 1. Okay, but I'm going to keep it as 0.8 or something around that place. Okay, maybe 0.85. Okay, this is great. So we need to actually animate that. So let me go to frame number 40 and insert a single keyframe here. And in frame number 41, I'm just going to put it around 0.85 and insert a keyframe here. So it's going to quickly change its metallicness also. Okay, let me save this. So now at this time we can actually give a render and try how it is looking. But also I'm going to animate this thing, the lights, because it is casting shadows. And just look at this place clearly. Okay, we are getting the shadows. We don't want that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just disable the shadows. So in frame number 41, I'm going to disable the shadow. So I'm going to go to frame 40 and just lock this keyframe here. Okay, till 40 it's going to cast shadow, and in frame number 41 it's going to remove. We are going to remove the shadow. Okay, so great. So we are having shadow. Now we don't have 1, 2. Okay, so we also need to do the same thing for other lights, the area lights that we have here. So go to frame 40, lock the keyframe, and just click on this. By default it is going to remove in the next keyframe, so you don't need to worry about removing that. So lock in frame number 40, and in frame number 41 just remove that. Okay, so the animation is starting at the frame number 0, so and it is actually going to end somewhere here. So let me do this. So it is coming and just holding there for some time, and the color changes. Now we actually need to do one more thing. When the color changes in the real logo the original logo animation, it is actually changing its scale and shrinking downwards. So what we can instead do is, instead of playing the scale of this particular each and every letter, I can just move the camera in the z-axis. So it's going to create an illusion of what is going to happen here. Okay, so I'm just going to keep the camera at the same place till frame number 40. Okay, and I'm just going to move it in the z-axis. Okay, so just put a single keyframe here, and till frame number 60 I'm just going to grab it along z-axis. So let's put it somewhere random right as of now. Okay, later we can animate the position. Okay, so let's go to this place and let me disable this. Okay, actually this is very fast. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to select this thing and put it somewhere around 90. I'm just going to increase the frame to somewhere here. Okay, actually this motion is okay, but the graph, we need to check that because it is not linear. See, it is not linear. I'm going to select everything and press V key and click on this free, or you can just go to vector. So it's going to make it linear. Okay. Okay, now I'm just going to disable these things and zoom it a little bit so that we won't get that. So this will help us to understand this animation clearly. Okay. Okay, let me enable the shadows here. Okay, so let me play this. I can just change the direction in which the shadow is throwing. Okay. Okay, this is perfect. So let me save this, and I'm going to just render this animation and we'll see how it is. We also need to do some post-processing steps for this. Okay, we can do that later. First, let's render this. So in order to render the animation, there are two ways. We can just render out each and every frame as a single image and join it using some video editing softwares, or you can do this in Blender itself. The other way is to export it as a single video itself. So I'm going to just accept this location, and I'm going to change the format to FFmpeg, and encoding I'm going to change it to QuickTime. Okay, this will do. Okay, since we are dealing with 100 frames, it's not going to cause any issues for us right now. Okay, it is always better to go with frames. Okay, even though if your Blender crashes, you can get the animations so far rendered, so you can get the frames that are so far rendered, so it's not going to cause you trouble. But right now I'm just going to go with videos, exporting it as a single video. So let me pause the video and render everything, and make sure you're having the right configuration. But right now I'm just going to put it as 550 400. Okay, and maybe around 60% this is going to do. And make sure I'm using the GPU for rendering, and I can put it around 100. Okay, so let me give a quick render of this. Okay, now I got this result here, so I'm just going to close this render window and just going to open that. Okay, so let me just click this down because I have rendered in a very low resolution. Okay, actually this is good. And we can also do one more thing. We can bevel the edges of each and everything here, because that will give a distinction between, so that will help us to differentiate between the background white color and the white color of this thing. Okay, so let me play this. I think we can even slow down the camera animation here. Okay, so the camera is here, so just going to select this one and grab it along this place and just go inside, and let's see this again. If I move this, okay. Okay, this is perfect actually. So the next thing that we need to focus is, let me save this and go to layout, and let's see here. Okay, I'm just going to change the color of the background so that we can show a slight distinction. Okay, and you can also bevel each and everything here, but right now I'm not going to do this because we have one more thing to cover, and also the video is getting too long. Okay, now we need to select few frames and start to post process each and everything. So I'm just going to put it as 250, and I'm going to go here and enable denoising. Okay, let's make sure that we are having the right render resolution. So 1920 and 1080, and it should be 100% each. Okay, so let me save this and put a render. Okay, this is the result that we have got here. Actually, this is really good, really nice. And what we can do is we can start adding post-processing nodes. Okay, so let me close this and just go to compositing and click on use nodes. So this is going to get the image from the layer onto which we have rendered the image. So we can just go and add a view node. Okay, so now what we actually need to do. Okay, the first thing that I want to achieve here is the vignette over the corners. So for that we can use an elliptic mask. Ellipse. Okay, ellipse mask is here. So make sure the values are 0.5 and 0.5, so it will be at the center of the screen. And the next thing is we also need to put this as 0.5. You can actually see the area where it will be affecting. Okay, and I can do one more thing. Since this is not actually in center, we need to actually change the position of the camera to make it as at the centers. Okay, we can do that later. Okay, now I'm going to just add a blur node. Okay, oh, not a bilateral blur, so add a blur node. Okay, so I'm just going to put it in the mask into the image and make it as 50%. I'm just going to add a multiply node, so I'm going to multiply. So it is under math. So mix, go to multiply. Okay, so I'm going to mix two images by multiplying them. So we're just going to put it here and this. So we can give it to both. Okay, now we can see it is throwing the result here. So I'm going to change this to fast Gaussian blur and make it as relative. Just go to Y and put it as 50. Okay, So this is perfect, and we also need to, okay, so now I can just start reducing this little bit, maybe around 0.5. Okay, now I'm going to add a color balance node. Just add it here, and I'm going to slightly move this to somewhere here. Okay, so this is fine, and again I'm going to copy this, Shift D, and multiply with this image and put it here. Okay, but this time I'm going to put it as 65, and I'm just going to reduce the size. You can see we're actually getting the difference here. This is a bit dark and this is a bit light. Okay, that's the reason I am adding this on top of the blur that we already have. So make it a 0.25 or something like that. So you can see it is actually throwing a light like a spotlight in this place indirectly. So we are not adding lights, but we are just using these nodes to get the light over there. So this is perfect. Next is, and also I can put it as 0.8 maybe. Okay, this is good. So let me give the result of this thing also to the composite node. Okay, and I can change the value to somewhere around, so I can change the value to somewhere around 5. Okay, and I'm going to increase the contrast more than that. Okay, so that's good. Okay, so this is perfect. So in this frame, this is looking good, and let's go to some other frame and render this thing. So this is great. So I can just tweak it a little bit. So 8 and 12. Okay, and I can reduce this a little bit. Okay, so this is fine, and also I could notice one more thing here. The shadow is actually appearing here. I don't know from where this shadow is. So let me go and check the keyframes. Okay, just I'm going to go to the light and check whether it is enabled. It is actually not here from this one, not from this one, not from this one, also not from this one. Okay, let's, okay, from where the shadow is actually throwing. Okay, let's go to animation and check that. I'm just going to select everything. Okay, I think we have wrongly keyed the animation. Okay, so here if you notice it is actually having the shadow, but here it is not. So for that, what we can do is just go and select this one and grab it along z-axis. Okay, go and select this one, grab it along z-axis. Okay, so it is going to be tuning off that thing. Okay, 1, 2. Okay, this is perfect. So now we can just render everything and see the final output. Okay, now let's go and export this animation. So go to this output settings tab and make sure you're using the correct render resolution and FPS, and finally set the output directory. Then make sure that you're using FFmpeg video as the format. Since we are dealing with just a simple animation, we can just export it as a video instead of exporting it as separate images and combining it later. We can export it as a video. Okay, and finally set the encoding to QuickTime and click on render animation. So if you really enjoyed this video, make sure to press the like button, and also a lot of new tutorials are coming soon, so make sure to press that subscribe button. I'll see you in the next video. So goodbye.